heard a song that you think is really shit? A song that makes you wonder how did that become a hit? Sometimes you need to hear a discussion about that in regular podcast format. Well, there's a lot of bad songs that we're gonna attack. 1,001 steaming piles of crap. I'm telling you the truth, you know that we don't lie. Here's 1,001 songs that make you wanna die. Oh.
And now, here's your hosts, Xav, Bevo, Dan, and Chibbsy. This is 1,001 Songs That Make You Want to Die, the podcast where we remind you just how shit some songs actually are. Today we're going to get stuck into How You Remind Me by Nickelback.
Tired of living like a blind man. I'm sick aside without a sense of feeling, and this is how you remind me. This is how you remind me of what I really am. This is how you remind me of what I really am. It's not like you say sorry. This is how you remind me.
Who wants to kick us off? Who wants to kick us off here?
All right, I'll go. Let's start from the very top.
A very good place to start.
Not quite the top, but when the drums come in.
The drum fill?
Well,
drum fill?
the drummer decided for this song he would have 2 snare drums.
Yeah. That's fine, though.
Any drummer that decides to have a 10-inch snare drum that's not a reggae track can fuck off.
I got to dispute this.
Let's do this. Come on.
I did enjoy the epic drum fill into nothing. In the start? In the intro.
Yeah, in the intro.
Of this song. You get a good, 16-bar drum fill. Remind me. It's like, not necessary.
You're like, yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, no, we're not. Okay, sorry. A bit later.
Yeah, and they kept it in.
Yeah.
It does the exact same fill 17 to 18 times.
Look, I gotta jump in on this one. This bit, I will defend the music. I don't have any problem with the music. The production. As a teen, I would listen to songs purely because I liked the way the album sounded or the song sounded. How it was mixed, and I always thought that Nickelback had like amazing drum sounds and amazing just amazing sounding albums, which is probably the only nice thing I'm going to say about this song and that band. But
that could also be due to the fact that this particular album was the first one that they got to use someone else's money. So I think that they went to absolute town. Like, they would have spent hours on that fucking snare drum that I hate.
That's a good album name, isn't it? Someone Else's Money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully one day we can rename this podcast Someone Else's Money.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why we're doing it. That's why we're doing all this.
$1,001.
Thank you to Patreon and all our supporters.
Make me happier.
Yeah. I just want to randomly just say I love Shure microphones. Just I know that we're not talking about that right now, but
Rodecaster Pro.
Why don't we start?
So lyrics. He's tired of living blind, and then he's also sick of the sight. So this is
that was
basically
my one
establishes.
point in this whole.
So the whole
it establishes that he's a sociopath and compulsive liar off the bat.
No, he is more than
about
that.
a few lines. Like he says, tired of living like a blind man. I'm not sure what he means by that. Like, is he walking around blindfolded with a guide dog? That's the only real way I think you can live like a blind man.
I agree.
Not as a blind man.
Well,
It's kinda like-
living like a blind man, I'd be tired of that.
I'm sure there's a few blind people out there that do pretty fine as they are. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Ray Charles seemed to go all right for himself.
Yeah.
He even managed to score fucking heroin every 2 days.
Yeah, but he was probably tired of it.
Have you guys ever seen those videos of Stevie Wonder showing that he might not actually be blind?
Yeah, yes, yeah. There's a mic stand that falls. Steve Wonder's like, no, I got that. There you go. There it is. There's your mic stand.
Like a blind
There's
man.
your mic stand. It was falling over. I caught it for you. There it is. Oh, that's a good mic
Heaps
stand.
of stories about people like gets in people's cars and just drives.
That would be great.
Stevie Wonder shows up. Hey, Stevie Wonder here. I just wanted to just comment on your beautiful house.
Turns up at a car dealership.
Turns up at the NRL headquarters. I'd like to be a referee. Yeah, you're in.
You're in. Straight to the bunker.
Yeah.
So lyrically, I've got so Chad in the first verse. Chad, the singer.
Chad.
For those
Can we just talk about his name real quick?
Chad.
It's such a shame that his name is. Well, I mean, he's a dickhead, but like, who is not going to turn out like a dickhead if their name is Chad?
Yeah, isn't Chad an insult of some
I
description?
just don't know if I could name my kid Chad.
Apologise in advance to any Chads listening to this.
No apology
Chad,
to anyone named Chad.
Not to mention the entire African nation of Chad.
Yeah.
We'll see those ratings go down in Chad.
Yeah. You just killed Africa for us, Xav.
No worries.
Good one.
Yeah, thanks, Xav.
Anyway, sorry, Dan, go on.
Okay, so Chad, he states in the first verse. I was going to keep going with the name, and I thought, no, I'll leave it there. Look, he states that he never made it as a wise man, and also couldn't cut it as a poor man stealing. So they're two extremes right there: being a wise man or being a poor man who has to
you
steal.
can be poor and wise.
Well, he's defining.
No,
like,
you can't.
there's a difference between them for him. Like he's saying, look, I never made it as a wise man. Also, I didn't make it as a poor man stealing. Why does he think he has to be either full of wisdom or be living on the streets stealing shit? That's like, what's wrong with just being a blue collar worker and having a nice life?
Yeah,
like you don't
I
have to
agree.
be in the gutter or a wise man. You can just be a normal, regular person. Chad.
You can own a house with a gutter and it'll be fine.
That's
He
It'll
doesn't
be
need to be a
fine.
Mensa or anything. He just needs to fucking go to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I feel like he's struggling with his identity. He's like, what am I going to do with my life? I'll be a wise man. And turns out you have to be really wise if you're going to do that. And he's like, well, fuck this. And they're like, where are you going, Chad? He goes, no, I'm going to live on the street. I'm going to steal. They're like, why?
Well, that didn't work.
Haven't you got to be at work? He's like, nah, I'm going to steal.
They don't want me at the library, so
Chad, you're gonna be late. You're gonna be late. Late for the.
I'm sick of doing these university lectures.
You've got a bricky's labour job to get to, Chad. He's like, nah, not doing it.
Straight to theft for me.
Yeah, I tried being wise. Where'd that get me? Nowhere. I never made it as a wise man.
Never made it.
You never made it.
And then he comes home that day. Okay, well, how did it go? He's like, oh, I couldn't even cut it as a poor man stealing. Nothing's going well for me.
I'm not going to Hollywood. There was no yeses for me.
No. And I've got to report to the courthouse in 7 days.
God.
That just there's so much backstory to these lyrics. Like I don't even know where to begin. I don't know if you still had more to say, Dan, but
I've got another 6 points, but we'll flip back.
I did actually read what the story is behind this song, if you'd like to know. He had a fight with his girlfriend and then ran downstairs and started recording and was like yelling these lyrics.
Well, that's the short
out.
version. You forgot about the part where he felt jaded.
Yep.
If I ever say to anyone, I feel jaded, I want you to get your gun and just shoot me right between the eyes.
Yeah.
But your name isn't Chad.
No.
Chad's feel jaded.
The funniest part is that the girlfriend came downstairs and said, "What's that you're recording? Pretty cool."
Sounds really good.
Okay, so
he says he
notes
wanted
on
to
it.
slap her in the face, like he literally wanted to physically slap her, but he still loves her. He still loves her.
I feel like he's implying that he means this as a metaphor. Like he wants this to come across like he wants these lyrics to impact her. And I quote, he says, "I wanted to write some lyrics that were a slap in the face to her he mentions the word slap once there. Even though I do say in the song that I love her, I kind of wanted to throw her a backhanded slap. There's a double use of the word slap.
Not just a slap, a backhand slap.
Backhand, like the knuckles. The knuckles.
Like the Batman meme. And I think, like, if you want something to be taken as a metaphor, you kind of, it sounds literal when you say it twice.
Okay, so I did not know this. I did not know this was a quote at all, but I've made a note here about the video in that, I'll just jump to the video quickly, then we'll go back, but it seems like it's the ghost of his ex that he's domestically abused to death. It's a note I've written here.
Yeah, but the plot twist at the end is that he's like, she was alone all along. It was a figment of her own imagination.
Yeah.
I didn't get that far through the video.
Because, like, there's a concert.
There's nothing that happens in the video. Like, it's so boring.
There's a concert and she pushes away the front, and then they sort of look at each other, and then everyone disappears, and she's in there alone.
Yeah. Yeah. And he pushes her away at some point. He's like, nah. So,
slaps her.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, in the film clip, he's like, so when do I do the backhanded slap? They're like, oh. The team's like, oh, who's going to tell him?
We might not do that.
Like, I've been wearing this glove all day.
Can someone just let him have the slap so he can stop talking about it?
Instead of angrily slapping her, we want to replace the slap with a push and the angrily with a gently. How about that?
And see her on her way.
Yeah. And the rage in Chad's eyes just...
He's like, but, you know, the film clip's meant to show me slapping her.
He does have that chronic wet hair syndrome, eh? His hair's always wet.
It's pretty glorious.
Like he's always just gotten out of the shower.
I thought that was a main.
How lame's the audience, dude?
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. I feel like if you're going to have an audience in a film clip, you need to commit. Like, it's a half-assed audience that shows up toward the end, and it's about 10 people that were probably just a couple of friends that were hanging out.
It's that classic when you're a local band and you put a post up and you say, anyone want to come and be in my music video? And 4 or 5 guys who are always at every gig go,
Yeah. But it's even less than that because when it came out, social media wasn't as strong, so they just had to like literally just call people.
Write letters, yeah.
I actually read that Chad was super upset and got really angry with the director because of how small the venue was for the video clip.
Yeah.
And that he thought it should have been...
It's a brick house.
Of course it's
small.
He said it should have been in the stadium.
Dubby Energy has declared war on Big Energy, who probably support ISIS. If you want an energy drink with no maltodextrin, no artificial colours, and no kickbacks that fund insurrections in the Middle East, then look no further. So head on over to dubby.gg and use the promo code 1001songs, that's the number 1001, for 10% off price of purchase. And remember, kids, if it's not Dubby, it's ISIS.
طويلة من الجهاد والصبر.
Does he not realise that at the time he hadn't released, like they hadn't released This Is How You Remind Me yet? And they weren't like really big yet?
Yeah.
No, he did not realise that, and he was furious that they weren't in a full stadium. The motherfuckers couldn't fill a 10-person room for a video clip.
Should just hide All Saints.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious that
that's what he's based. He's like, the All Saints clip have got like a big crowd at the end, and they're like, Chad, that's the All Saints.
It was all of them.
It was all of the Saints. It's like, can't we do that? Put us in the crowd.
But in a stadium.
Like, no, All Saints already did that.
They actually patented that technology.
It's
called all sainting.
All sainting. Can't we just all saint some of the members of Nickelback in there? No. You can't.
There's just a really good comment I want to read.
Not without paying them.
I know we're not going into comments or anything yet, but I'm just going to really jump ahead because there's a real good comment and I found, and it's the only one I want to say, and it's
who's watching this?
Better not be mine.
So it's It's from Muhammad Suhail Irfan Kazi. It's spelt Nickelback spelt wrong, and then it's Nickelback, Linkin Park, Green Day, MCR are all in the one sentence. Nickelback spelt wrong, so that's real fuck up. Nickelback, Linkin Park, Green Day, MCR. The decade of 2000 to 2010 was a great time for rock.
Oh, yeah, it was. Don't Muhammad know it?
I don't know about that.
Great time for rock.
That's fine.
You know what really pissed me off about this video? Is that not Chad, the other guitarist, the one that looks constipated through the whole thing?
Yeah.
He's playing a fucking Telecaster.
Yeah. And there's two Mesa quad boxes and what looks like two dual rectifiers, and then also like a 212 Fender combo on the ground. And it doesn't. It seems like a lot of. That's
and
a lot.
1,000 cymbals.
Yeah, I'm like, if those 10 people that are there, that's going to be very loud. That's too much for that show.
Yeah, it's because Chad thought they were going to a stadium.
Yeah, he's like, what are we doing?
He'd already hired the gear for the day.
He had a wall. He actually had a wall of cabs. He's like, well, what do we do with these cabs? Like, well, you can keep 2.
Oh.
But no foldbacks.
Okay. All right, but I definitely get to slap. That bitch, though, right?
About that. About that bit too.
How's that, Chad? Chad's the only guy in the band with like long hair, and all the other guys look like they just locked in from.
Yeah. No, he's the most important one. He's the front man.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but the drummer looks very, very bored the entire time. Like,
well, he's done his fill.
Bored.
He's done his little intro.
Yeah,
did it early.
He does the stupid head nods every time he hits the drum. He's like, I know no one can see this, but you can hear what I'm saying.
Shit. Speaking of head nods, can I do a massive fucking flashback to Never Ever that we just spoke about?
Yes.
That if you go through the video clip of Never Ever, all of them sing at a head tilt of at least 35 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what that's about, but if you just you get it there, then
if you're listening, just turn your head and imagine.
Just right there, and then go, what? And it's like, what? Like, what the fuck are they? I couldn't figure that shit out.
And heaps of arms up the front.
Arms at the front, no bra, and head tilt. Anyway.
Back to the Nickelback video. I'm watching it as we speak.
So
it tends to help.
There's a lyric in there of are we having fun yet? And I assume that this is where he wanted to backhand her, but it does because he couldn't. It doesn't look like he is having much fun at all.
No,
I also thought it was not yet.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Well, it's the line before it is that these 5 words in my head scream, and I always do this count it. We having fun yet?
Yeah, me too. I always thought it was like
anytime a song mentions how many words.
Yeah.
Better get it right.
So let's talk about this sentence for a sec, because this is confusing if you really think about it. He says, these 5 words in my head scream, are we having fun yet? So are the words screaming, are we having fun yet? Like,
no, I think his entire inner monologue is done in a scream.
There's words in his head, and those words are screaming words as well. Like the 5 words are also screaming those 5 words. Is it like some sort of...
And those words are yet, no.
Yeah. It's confusing. Like the words, why would, like, if we were sitting around while he was writing this and he goes, these 5 words in my head screaming, are we having fun yet? I definitely would go like, what, the words are screaming words? And he probably would have gone like, oh yeah, I guess that doesn't make sense. I probably have to rewrite that. But it's this sort of stuff that's in songs when I hear these kind of sentences, like it flows, like that lyric flows, and
it works
for sure.
Yeah,
but like it kind of doesn't really make sense
when you think him about being in the bottom of every bottle flow to you. How did he get into the bottle? That's what I want to know.
Look, I think
how small is this man?
This is the 4th episode, and I think we can definitely say that lyrics don't need to make sense at all.
Oh no.
To at least make a hit song.
No. I mean, look, we
did
set a
Blue
precedent.
by Eiffel 65.
Yeah, we set a precedent right off the top, didn't we?
Yeah.
Bam, bam.
So the legacy of this song,
memes.
The only thing I've got here is that it was the most played US radio single of the 2000s decade.
Wow.
Wow.
Think of the goddamn money this band has.
Yeah.
So anytime someone
I've
says
actually
they think anyone wants to slag on Nickelback, they're selling out every place they go.
They would laugh. You can't even do it because they're just like, they wouldn't even bother laughing. They'd just look at you with a smug face.
Yeah. They know.
Yeah, they know.
Well,
they know.
I've got a little fact.
I like your pants around your feet.
Now, for starters, that song's got to be on this podcast. We should have done that song and this song together.
That's enough of that song.
We'll do a special on the whole album, don't worry. The whole catalogue for Nickelback.
So just on them being very, very rich, because they absolutely are. So this is a little story about that song in particular. So you know the part in like the last chorus, I think it is, where he goes like, pardon?
This is about the drum tech?
Yes.
Yeah, I love this.
Too?
Oh, this is so good.
So there's like a lot of stops where he goes like, up and wrong, up and down. There's all those stops, and then they're like, "Man, we need this last chorus to just be huge." And then the drum tech goes like, "Why don't you do another stop?" And they're like, "Well, we got plenty of stops." And he goes, "No, hear me out, like another one." And they go, yeah,
why don't you
keep
stop
going,
keep
going.
together?
And then he goes, yeah, like right on the bit where it's like, for and your heart worth breaking. You know that bit where that stop is right at the end. Yeah. That in their opinion, like made the song way better, right? With everything that was already in there, they were like, "Holy shit, this went to a new level," and it was so impactful to them. It was such a huge thing that they paid him $5,000 for contributing that one idea.
A mega sum.
He got fucking ripped.
He got ripped off.
This made the entire song. Here's $5,000, chump.
Yeah,
I feel like the context of that would have been, as soon as he said that, Chad would have just wafted out $5,000 cash and been like, "All right, never speak of this ever again."
It was like in a black little memory wipe thing, with $5,000.
It's in a suit. It's in a big suitcase, but it's only just a like $5,000 little wad.
They also reckon that this whole song was like them having a child that goes on to be a musical success. It's like, how can you say that?
Well,
so bad.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's lucky they didn't have him killed.
Yeah. They needed a drum tech.
Slapped.
Yeah,
drum tech. That's true.
Yeah, they're like,
all right.
They're like, we need to kill him. The drummer's like, nah.
How many Chads out of 10? 10 being you want to die instantly, and 0 being you want to listen to how you remind me on repeat every single day of your life. How many Chads do you give it, Xav?
All right. So I'm with Dan with the whole. I like to listen to songs that sound audibly very well recorded, because I'm very OCD when it comes to sound. I hate this song. I seriously hate this song. I hate the band. I hate everything about it. But I think that the effort they went to get where they got with it is respectable. Oh, I hate that I said that, but
well, I read that they were around for 10 years.
Do you know what I mean? Like
this come out, and apparently they'd sold 500,000 albums before this came out.
What, in Canada? It's not real numbers.
Great. Now we've lost Chad and Canada.
Please listen to my band. Buy the album. Oh, yeah, okay, I will buy it.
They're doing you a favour. Anyone can get the 500,000. Bloody
so apart from the disgusting clean tone of the PRS he's playing in the start, I will give it a 7. Chads.
Oh, so you hate it?
I do.
Okay,
it's not,
Dan, how many Chads? No, it's not
9. I'm giving it a 9.
Oh, fuck.
That just helped you, bro.
Jesus. Dan Southern's fucking hot on this episode.
The thing is, I'm giving it a 9 because I really want to reserve that 10 for something that's extraordinarily shit that I have zero, like, because these songs so far have been like, yeah, that's shit, but you can find something about it. You know,
Life by Desiree is pretty shit.
The toast.
There's a Monster Brewing. I feel like there's a Monster Brewing with the worst song ever, and we're just building to it. We don't know what it is yet, but it's coming.
I want to save my 10 for that.
Yeah.
I know where it is.
Oh, I hope so. And so the drum production, I love it. Still to this day, I think it holds up. So I can't give it a 10. It's a 9 for me.
9.
Yeah.
Bevo, how many Chads?
I'm going to give it 3. I don't mind this song at all. I don't think this
you
is a bad
can
song.
leave this podcast forever.
Wait till you hear what Chibbs gives it. But I do want to say that, you know what writing a song like this gets you is married to Avril Lavigne. So more fool you.
For a very short amount of time until she leaves you again.
She did a cover of this song too, actually.
Oh,
yeah, that's weird.
I also give it a 3. It's a fucking great song.
Wow.
Do you like Nickelback?
I just know that guitar tone in the chorus is like it's like catnip for Chibbs.
It's so good. It's so good. It's like, God damn you, Chad.
You got me.
So if we're nearly ready to wrap this up, I've got just a couple more quick ones.
Right.
Firstly, this one we didn't get to before, talking about the film clip. Chick comes out of the shower with a full face of makeup, and it makes me think: does she not wash her face in the shower? And maybe that's why.
No, she knows how Chad likes it.
Well,
he likes. She didn't really look.
He just
like
wants
the
him
kind
to
of person,
slap the makeup off it.
She doesn't look like the kind of person that
Maybe
would be
that's why he
dating Chad
pushes
Kroger either. There's no. Yeah, I don't know.
No. She does wash her face, but she
Instantly
has a full makeup
makeup.
kit. She has a full makeup kit in the shower with, it's all sealed up in plastic bags. There's a mirror in there, so that the sliding door to the shower does not open until she is fully prepared for Chad.
And clothed, or
half?
No, not clothed. That's not prepared for Chad.
Yeah. Anyway, and then I really had to sift heavily through the YouTube comments to find a negative one, because that's become a real enjoyable part of this podcast. Is that
aren't they all negative for this song? They're all just taking the mickey out of it.
You just want to filter through the people watching it now.
Oh well, I had to filter, so I had to filter to get away from people who are still watching it now. Everyone loves this song who is watching it on YouTube. No one hates it, and but let me tell you, Jeff Carlin hates it. He's 55 and he posted this 5 days ago, and it reads
fresh.
It reads, "This song sucks all of the buttholes." And all is in uppercase letters. This song sucks all of the buttholes. And he's 55.
Did he tell you he's 55? Or did you have to find that out?
He looks very 55.
So what you're saying is he could be a really bad 50.
Yeah, Jeff Collins out there going, "I'm 42.
It's a hard 42.
Hans Molman's 37 or something.
I've had life's handed me a rough deal."
Chad got the best of him. Aged him 13 years. All right. Let's wrap it up there, hey fellas.
Yep.
Thanks heaps. Make sure you follow us on all the socials.
Can I just give one last final thought?
Yeah.
Before you do that, these 5 words in my head. Please give us 5 stars.
Oh, please give us 5 stars.
Do that, definitely.
Yeah.
We need the reviews on iTunes, and thanks to everyone that is sharing it on Instagram and following us on Facebook, and downloading the podcast, because the numbers have been crazy, and we really appreciate it. So make sure you follow us, all the socials. Everything is at 1001 Songs That Make You Want to Die, and we will see you soon. Catch you, fellas.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Hi everyone, it's Dan here from 1001 Songs That Make You Want to Die.
I'm here today to let you know that our podcast is now available on Patreon. That's right, for as little as $2 a month, you can now support this podcast rather than listen to it for free, effectively stealing the food out of the mouths of our starving children. There's one of them now. So why not join us on Patreon? You get bonus stuff each month, and you can even be a guest on the podcast if you want. Now, doesn't that sound better than making our poor children starve? Oh, kids are great, aren't they? Anyway, on with today's episode.